And I'm going to touch on each one of these verses. And verses 8 through 11, first of all, I believe I have 5 different points. It says, one of the first things that the devil will try to do, one of the first things, and let's look back at verse 8 through 11. It says, some Chaldeans took this occasion to come forward and maliciously accuse the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, may the king live forever. You as king have issued a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, and the rest of the music, and every kind of music must fall down and worship the gold statue. Whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into the furnace of blazing fire. Now listen here. There are some Jews, there are some Christians who have appointed to manage the province of Babylon. In other words, look at here. It says when we're trying to do right, when we're trying to do what's right, I'm going to let them finish.
Just go on,
right.
Bobby.
When we're trying to do and live our life right, whatever we're trying to do, like you said, mention about the hospital, about this right here, this event right here God has called you to. The devil, he's going to try to do everything he can to distract you. What is the first thing he's going to try to do? One of the first things that the devil will try to do, and that is he will try and get you to compromise. He will try to get you to compromise the things of God by stirring up confusion. That's the first thing he's going to try to do. Because look, these men here, God has blessed Christian men, faithful, 3 faithful brothers, not hurting nobody, serving the Lord, going about doing things, trying to do things right. And look at here, then you have some people come out of nowhere and they say, you see that guy over there? You know, or this lady here, you know I know she's trying, God has called her to, you know, start a ministry. Or Sister Dorothy, God has called her to do this. Or Kai bless you with your wife, or whatever the situation may be. But soon as you make your mind up to really serve God, then understand this. The enemy is going to come in and he's going to try to stir up so much confusion, so much trouble in your life. And he does that to get you to say, you know what? Man, it was only a few people here tonight. Ain't nobody here but my kids. And maybe they probably don't want to be here. My husband might seem like at times he don't want to be here. I've invited people. You know, they're not showing up anymore. It's only a few of us. Why even do it? Why even do it? I'll just, you know, I'll settle for just, if I can say this, just getting on my Facebook and just doing it like that. Because God sees the big picture and the devil sees the big picture. He knows if you don't faint and you continue to trust him and you continue to do it, that God is going to bless what you're doing. He's going to bless what you're doing. So the first thing he wants to do is he wants to sidetrack us by get us to what? Settle for less. That's what we do. We don't want the trouble. We don't want all the problems that come with it. And we got to know if God has called you to do something, if he's called you to do something. He called Paul to the ministry. Paul then went around, changed his life. He wasn't getting all them attacks when he was a Pharisee. Think about it. When Paul was a Pharisee, when you read in there, when Paul was going about killing Christians, doing all kind of crazy stuff, he wasn't having the problems. But soon as he going down the road to Damascus, and God turned his direction, changed his direction, and he went about starting to do God's thing, not hurting nobody, serving the Lord, trying to do good, then what happened? Then people attacking him now. People used to be his friends, they attacking him, putting him in prison, beating him, all kind of stuff. Why? To try to stop him. And if that man would have stopped, then what we read in the New Testament, there's a whole lot of it wouldn't even be in there. It wouldn't be in there. But he would not stop. He was on a mission. He said, I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God to lead all men unto salvation. That's why I am not ashamed. He said, I know I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. So he didn't. He had a made up mind. That's why he said, don't throw away your confidence. Don't throw away your confidence in God, because when you give up, you're throwing away your confidence not in yourself, you're throwing in your confidence in that which God has called you to do. And he ain't called you to settle for less. He knows that you're going to go through some things. The devil, you think he's just going to sit there and say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to come against this person. His job, and we see it, is to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. So he's going to come after you. And so we are not to settle for less than what God has called us to. And if he called you to do this, don't you think no matter what it looks like, no matter how hot the situation gets, that he's going to keep you in that situation? Look at Jesus. Jesus went to the cross. Went to the cross. And it said, he that descended was the same one that ascended. And because he went to the cross, he suffered all of that. And if you get, if someone can get Colossians 2 and 15, Gainer, can you get Colossians 2 and 15? And look what the Lord did. Look, just think about what he did. Because he was humble, he was on a mission, he didn't give up. And this is what we should be able to do to the enemy. It's right towards the back. Grab it right now. Here, I have it. Look what he did here. You have it, gang?
This is a new Bible, so.
All right, go to Ephesians.
No, I got it.
All right.
I know where it is. I'm sorry, what's that? Colossians what?
2:15. I want you to, and then before you read this, look at here. Because Jesus didn't give up, because if we don't give up, look at here. Look what he did. And this is what we should do. We have the power to do this right here. He what? Read Colossians just 2:15.
And having disarmed the powers and authorities, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross.
As you move on, and you're going to make a show of them publicly, because other people, they talking to other people, and they saying things, and other people watching what they're doing to you. And other people see that. And then that's what the Lord did. Just think, the devil and all of his little imps around there, all of them little imps around there, all of his little workers around there, that they look up to the devil. And then he crucified Jesus, our Messiah, and then all of a sudden on the third day he get up, and he don't just rise up. He said he rose up and he disarmed the rulers and authorities and disgraced them publicly. He triumphed over them by him. In the name of Jesus, every knee gonna bow.
You got somebody
Then I want to touch on number 2. If we read verses 12 and 13 out of Daniel. I wish I had a reader.
Verses 12.
13 in Daniel.
12 and 13.
Yes.
Okay. There are certain Jews who have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee, thy servant, nor thy gods, nor worshipped the golden image which thou hast set up. Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my God?
Only 13 now. Only up to 13. Okay, now look at here. Look at, Gaina just read, my wife just read verses 12 and 13. But understand this, look at here. Look at the devil, how he's operating. Just look at that in that verse. That's what I want you to really see. But see how slick the enemy tries to be. Look at the words. When you get a chance, read all of that. When you get to yourself, read all of that over again and see how slick the enemy tries to be. It says now, look at here, and then look at here in Genesis, and I'm going to just read this. It says now, Genesis 3:1.